The wedding morning smelled like hairspray, perfume, and panic. Everyone in my parents' house was dressed like they were heading to a celebration. Pressed shirts, curling irons heating up in the bathroom, my mom's jewelry laid out on the kitchen table like a display. Everyone except me. I was in black pants and a stained white button up with an apron tied around my waist, balancing a tray of cups while my mom snapped. "Careful, those are for the bridesmaids." My dad shoved his phone into my hands. "Go pick up the ice, now. And don't take forever." I opened my mouth to remind them I was supposed to be at the wedding too. Not as staff, just as their kid. My mom cut me off without looking at me. "Stop making that face. Today is not about you. And don't embarrass us." I caught my reflection in the hallway mirror as I rushed past. Hair pulled back too tight, dark circles under my eyes, a thin smile that looked more like fear than politeness. Most families on a wedding day make sure you're fed and dressed and included. Mine treated me like someone they hired and forgot to pay. And I still didn't know the worst part was coming. Because later, at the reception, the bride's father looked at me once, and the entire room changed. He didn't ask who I was. He asked what they'd done to me. To understand why I didn't just walk out, you have to know what my life at home looked like. It didn't start as something I could point to and name. When I was little, it was helping, wiping the counter, folding towels, watching my younger siblings for just a minute. The kind of stuff adults praise you for. What a good kid. So mature. But the minutes turned into hours. The towels turned into everyone's laundry. Watching my siblings turned into feeding them, bathing them, getting them to bed while my parents sat in the living room like I was background noise. By middle school, I was packing lunches, scrubbing bathrooms, cooking dinner, and learning how to keep a baby quiet while doing homework with one hand. If I asked for allowance, my dad would laugh. "We feed you. That's your payment." Privacy didn't exist. My phone was checked. My door wasn't allowed to lock. If I looked tired or annoyed, my mom would say, "After everything we do for you, this is the attitude you have." They framed it like morals. Family duty, my dad called it. Gratitude. My mom said, especially when company was over. When friends invited me out, I was needed at home. When school offered clubs, I was getting distracted. When I wanted a part-time job, my dad shut it down. "So you can think you don't need us." They didn't just control my time, they controlled my reputation, telling relatives I was difficult and lazy, so no one questioned why I was always working. Chores teach responsibility. Exploitation teaches submission. By the time I was old enough to notice how wrong it was, they'd already built the cage. To everyone else, my parents were the kind of people you were supposed to admire. They brought food to church events. They offered rides. They smiled wide and spoke softly in public. My mom loved saying things like, "We're raising our kids to be respectful," and people would nod like she'd written a parenting book. And I learned early, if I ever contradicted that image, I would pay for it later. The rule in our house wasn't written down, but it was enforced like law: don't talk about what happens at home. If I complained to a relative, my mom would corner me afterward and whisper, "Do you want people thinking we're bad parents?" Like my honesty was the real betrayal. If I looked upset in public, my dad would squeeze my shoulder a little too hard and smile through his teeth. "Fix your face." My phone wasn't mine. Messages could be read, calls could be questioned. I got punished for tone more than anything, because tone meant I had a mind of my own. Once, in high school, a teacher pulled me aside after class. "You're falling asleep," she said gently. "Are you okay at home?" "You." For 1 second, I almost told her. Almost. Then my mom showed up at the next parent meeting with homemade cookies and a laugh that filled the room. "Oh, she's just such a helper," she said. "Always doing too much. We tell her to rest, but she insists." The teacher smiled, relieved, and I realized the truth outsiders saw: a hard-working kid. I was coerced labor with a polite smile. The first person who ever truly saw me was connected to this wedding. When my parents got invited to this wedding, they didn't see a celebration. They saw free labor. 2 weeks before the wedding, my mom announced my role the way someone announces the weather. "You're helping at the reception," she said, flipping through a checklist at the kitchen counter. "Serving food, clearing plates, whatever they need." I blinked. Helping as a guest, like setting up a little before. My dad didn't even look up from his phone. Not as a guest. As help. I laughed once, because it sounded ridiculous. Then I realized he was serious. I was invited, I said carefully. I have an actual invitation. My mom waved her hand. Invited, yes. But you'll be useful. The bride's family needs extra hands. We already told them you'd do it. My chest tightened. You told them? My dad finally looked at me, eyes flat. Don't start. This family has a reputation. We don't show up empty-handed and useless. I have work that day. I tried. And I wanted to? Honestly, I wanted to just attend, like everyone else. My mom's face hardened. After all we've done for you, you can't do one thing for us. My dad leaned forward. If you embarrass us by refusing, don't bother coming back here afterward. There it was, the threat wrapped in family duty. A few days later, I ran into the bride at a small pre-wedding gathering. She grabbed my hands and smiled brightly. I'm so excited you're helping, she said. Your mom said you volunteered. Thank you so much. I forced a smile that hurt my face. Because the bride thought I chose this. Volunteering is a choice. I was assigned. I told myself I'd get through one more event. But my parents pushed too far. The morning of the wedding, the kitchen felt like a factory line. Pans clanged. The oven beeped. Someone's playlist played too loud from a phone propped against a cereal box. My mom was barking instructions like a supervisor, and my dad kept walking through the space like he owned the air in it. Not that platter. Are you blind? Wipe that again. It's streaky. Move faster. People are counting on us. My hands were already trembling from the pace and the lack of sleep. I was carrying a tray of small dessert cups when my younger sibling darted behind me. I shifted to avoid stepping on them, and the tray tilted. 2 cups slid. One hit the floor and burst. The room went silent for a beat. Then my mom's hand snapped out and slapped the back of mine, hard enough to sting. Slumsy. She hissed. Always clumsy. My dad's voice cut in sharp. Do you know how you make us look? Clean it up. Now. I dropped to my knees, wiping sticky cream off the tile while my face burned. I wasn't crying loudly. I'd learned not to, but my eyes watered anyway, from stress and humiliation and the sheer unfairness of it. When I stood, I caught myself in the microwave door's reflection, a faint mark on my wrist from where my mom had grabbed me earlier. My hair frizzing out of the tight bun. My eyes red, my smile gone. I looked like someone who didn't belong at a wedding, and in that moment, something in me snapped into place. I couldn't keep doing this. Not after today. I decided I would leave after the ceremony. Or tell someone. Or both. I didn't know someone had already noticed. Then I walked into the reception hall carrying trays, and locked eyes with the bride's father. The reception hall was bright and beautiful in that way weddings always are. White tablecloths, soft music. People hugging and laughing like nothing bad could exist in a room filled with flowers. I walked in through the side entrance with a tray of champagne flutes digging into my palms. My apron felt like a spotlight. Guests turned assuming I was staff, and looked right through me. I kept my eyes down and headed toward the head table. That's when I felt it. Someone watching me like they actually saw me. I looked up, and the bride's father was standing near the bar, talking to 2 men in suits. He was tall, gray at the temples, the kind of calm presence that made people step aside without him having to ask. His gaze landed on me, and his entire face changed. Not confusion, not annoyance, recognition. He took 1 step closer, then another, eyes narrowing the way someone looks when a memory clicks into place. Hey, he said, gently but firmly, like he was stopping a kid from walking into traffic. I froze mid-step. He looked at my wrist first. The faint mark, the way I was gripping the tray like it might be taken from me, then my face, then the apron, and his voice dropped. Are you okay? The question hit me so hard my throat tightened. People asked, how are you? All the time, but this wasn't that. This was a real question from someone who expected a real answer. Before I could speak, he added, why are you working right now? I swallowed. I'm just helping. He didn't buy it. His eyes flicked to the side, to my parents at the edge of the room. My mom scanning the tables like a manager. My dad standing with his friends, laughing. Then back to me. Who asked you to do this? He said. Was it your choice? I opened my mouth and nothing came out. My body was so used to protecting my parents' image that even the truth felt dangerous on my tongue. My mom noticed the pause and hurried over, smile already plastered on. Oh, she chirped, too bright. You found our helper. She insists on staying busy. She's just like that. And my dad stepped in behind her, chuckling. Yeah, she likes to feel important. The bride's father didn't even glance at them at first. He kept his eyes on me, like he was giving me one safe second to answer honestly. That was the moment I realized he recognized me from somewhere. But I couldn't place it yet. He didn't confront them right away. He tested one thing first. He asked me again, quieter this time. Tell me the truth. Are you safe at home? My breath caught. My parents tried to laugh it off. The bride's father didn't laugh back. My mom's smile kept stretching, like if it got wide enough it could cover the whole situation. She begged to help. My mom said, laughing lightly, you know kids these days. So dramatic if they're not included. My dad chimed in, voice loud and easy. Moody, too. If she doesn't have something to complain about, she'll find it. They were doing what they always did, turning me into the problem before anyone could ask why I looked like I hadn't slept in days. The bride's father finally turned toward them, and the warmth drained out of his face completely. You want me to believe, he said slowly, that your child chose to spend a wedding day clearing plates instead of sitting with family. My mom's laugh faltered. It's not like that. He held up a hand, then looked past them and caught the attention of the venue coordinator walking by with a clipboard. Excuse me, he said. Quick question, who is hired staff tonight? The coordinator blinked, glanced at my apron, then at me. Catering has their own team. We have a staff list. She's not on it. The sentence landed like a glass shattering. My dad's jaw tightened. My mom's smile froze in place. The bride's father looked back at them. So she's not staff, which means this is your doing. Then his expression shifted again, like another memory slid into place. I know her, he said, pointing gently. At me, not accusingly. I've met you before. My mom blinked fast. You have. He nodded once, eyes still on me. Parent-teacher conference. 7th grade. Ms. Alvarez. My stomach flipped. Ms. Alvarez, my old teacher. The one who had asked if I was okay. The one my mom had charmed with cookies and excuses. The bride's father's voice tightened. She was bright, organized, always exhausted, and Ms. Alvarez told me she was worried about what was happening at home. My parents' faces shifted, panic trying to disguise itself as offense. And for the record, he added, sharper now, that's not how you speak about your child. Not if you actually love them. People nearby had started to notice. Heads turned, conversations lowered. When my dad realized the bride's father had authority in that room, he switched tactics. My mom grabbed my elbow and steered me toward a side hallway like she was guiding a toddler away from a tantrum. Her nails dug into my skin. Her smile stayed on for anyone watching. Are you trying to ruin this? She whispered, teeth clenched. Do you have any idea how this makes us look? My dad followed, voice low and furious. You say one wrong thing and you're done. You hear me? Don't make a scene. I didn't, I started. My mom cut me off. Just go back to work. Smile. Act normal. For once in your life, think about someone other than yourself. There it was again. The same script. My fear, my exhaustion, my bruises turned into selfishness because it inconvenienced them. Behind us, the bride's father's voice came, calm but unmistakably firm. No. We all turned. He hadn't stormed after us. He'd simply followed like a wall that refused to move. You don't get to threaten her into silence, he said. My dad forced a chuckle. Sir, with respect, this is a family matter. The bride's father shook his head once. Not anymore. That's when the bride hurried over, confusion written all over her face. Dade, what's happening? My mom immediately softened her voice, playing sweet. Oh honey, nothing. She's just overwhelmed. You know how she is. The bride looked at me. Really looked. And her expression changed. Wait, you're not with the catering team. I swallowed, voice barely there. No. Her mouth fell open. I thought you volunteered. Your mom told me. The bride's father gently stepped between us and my parents. She's not volunteering, he said. She's being used. My mom's eyes flashed. Used? We're her parents. She lives under our roof. The bride's father's eyes sharpened. And there it is. My mom realized what she'd said the second it left her mouth. But it was too late. She'd accidentally admitted everything. This wasn't about helping. It was about ownership. The bride turned red with anger. I am so sorry. She whispered to me. You should be sitting down. The bride's father nodded toward a table. You're a guest, he told me. You sit, you eat, the staff will handle the rest. I felt dizzy, like the floor had shifted under my whole life. That should have been enough. But my parents made one last mistake. My dad tried to muscle his way back into control with volume. This is ridiculous, he said, loud enough that nearby guests definitely heard. She's always playing the victim. She's ungrateful. She likes the attention. My mom nodded rapidly. She's exaggerating. She gets emotional and makes things sound worse than they are. The bride's father didn't argue with adjectives. He asked questions. Do you have your own bank account? He asked me. I hesitated, then shook my head. My dad scoffed. Because she's irresponsible with money. The bride's father kept going. Do you have your ID? Your birth certificate? My throat tightened. There in my dad's lockbox. My mom's smile twitched. For safekeeping. Can you leave the house when you want? He asked. I stared at the floor. The honest answer felt like stepping off a cliff. Not really. If I go somewhere, I have to explain where, who, and why. If I'm late, I swallowed. There are consequences. What consequences? He asked, gently. My dad's eyes flashed. Discipline. I force myself to say it anyway. They take my phone. They take money I earn. They tell me I'll be kicked out. The bride's face went pale. You work, I nodded. I babysit sometimes. I clean houses for cash. My mom snapped. And we manage it for her. The bride's father didn't look at my mom. He looked at me. How much do you keep? None. I admitted, voice shaking. They say I owe them. A cousin nearby let out a quiet, shocked sound. My aunt, who'd always acted like nothing was wrong, stared at my parents like she was seeing them for the first time. Then the bride spoke up, voice tight. Your mom told me you were difficult. She looked at my mom, hurt and angry. She said you needed structure, that you couldn't be trusted alone. My mom lifted her hands. I was just explaining. No. The bride cut in. You were making excuses. The bride's father nodded once. This is why facts matter, he said, because lies need vagueness. Truth doesn't. My parents tried to talk over him to rewrite the timeline, but it was too late. In front of witnesses, the story had shape now. They volunteered me, controlled me, lied about it, and called it parenting. In that moment, I expected to be punished later. Instead, the bride's father made a call. He stepped a few feet away, pulled out his phone, and turned his body so my parents couldn't see the screen. The calm on his face wasn't the calm of someone trying to avoid conflict. It was the calm of someone taking control. I need a room, he said into the phone, voice low. Tonight. Yes, same place as last time. And I need someone to meet me there. He hung up and looked at me. Do you have somewhere safe you can go tonight? I shook my head, embarrassed by how small my life sounded out loud. Okay, he said, like the answer was just information. Then you're coming with me. My dad's face turned red. Absolutely not. She's not leaving. The bride's father didn't raise his voice. She's an adult, he said. And you don't own her. My mom's voice went shrill. You can't just take her? This is kidnapping? He looked at her like she was being ridiculous. If she says she wants to leave, it's not kidnapping. If you try to stop her, that becomes something else. My dad took a step forward, chest puffed. You don't know what you're getting involved in. The bride's father nodded once. Actually, I do. I thought he was just angry. He was prepared. He turned to the venue coordinator. If they cause a disturbance, they need to be removed. Then he turned to me again. We'll get your documents. We'll open your own account. And if you're in school or working, we'll contact whoever we need to so you're not punished for disappearing tonight. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone. The bride came close and whispered, I'm so sorry. You can stay with us if you need. My parents started shouting, accusations, guilt threats, but the room had shifted. People were watching now, not believing them, watching as me. And for the first time, I had an exit that didn't require permission. The next morning, I woke up somewhere safe, and my parents' text started. When I woke up, it took me a full minute to remember where I was. A small guest room, clean sheets, a glass of water on the nightstand, my phone charging, no footsteps outside my door, no one yelling my name. Then I looked at my screen, missed calls, voicemails, texts stacked so fast they blurred together. From my dad. You're dead to me. If you don't come home right now, don't bother coming back. Hard after everything we sacrificed. This is how you repay us. From my mom, minutes later, the tone flipping like a switch. Honey, please answer. Come home. We're worried sick. Come home and we'll talk calmly. And then, the love bombing. We love you. We only want what's best. You're being influenced. I didn't respond. Not because I was trying to punish them, because any response would invite the old game argue. Guilt, twist, repeat. Relatives started chiming in too. A few messaged me the classic lines, but they're your parents. Like biology erased everything else. But others surprised me. My aunt admitted, I always wondered why you looked so tired. My cousin said, I thought it was weird you never had money. Even my younger sibling whispered that they'd been scared too. The bride's father helped me do the boring, life-changing things, set up a new email my parents didn't know, open a bank account in my name, make a plan to retrieve my documents with someone present. He also connected me with a counselor, someone who didn't tell me to forgive, but helped me name what happened. I set one boundary in writing and sent it once: do not contact me except by text or email. Do not come to my location. If you show up, I will call for help. The hardest part wasn't leaving. It was unlearning who they trained me to be. And then, weeks later, my mom showed up with one request that proved nothing had changed. Life didn't turn into a fairy tale overnight, but it did become something I never thought I'd have. Quiet. I found a small room to rent. I got steady work. I started putting my own money into my own account and buying things without asking permission. Simple stuff like groceries, shampoo, a phone plan in my name. The bride and her father checked on me more than once, not with pity, but with genuine care. I'll never forget that. They didn't save me. They just treated me like a human being who deserved options. My parents, they didn't suddenly admit what they did. Some days they rage. Some days they pretend nothing happened and send a message like, come home, we miss you. The switch still flips, and that's how I know my boundary matters. Because the lesson wasn't, family is everything. The lesson was love doesn't demand servitude. Real family doesn't build an image in public and a prison in private. And keeping the peace is just another way of saying keeping yourself small. I used to think my job was to endure, to keep everyone comfortable, to be useful enough to earn kindness. Now I know better. If you were in my position, what would you have done? Would you have left the moment someone offered a way out, even if it meant blowing everything up? Or would you have stayed and tried to fix it from inside? Tell me in the comments. And if you think they stopped trying to control me after that, you'll want the update. Like and subscribe for the next part.